do.
Richard! Richard, help!
Shawn,
Yeah, it's me!
why are you in a sewer?
I was looking for the turtles.
You were as pathetic as you are sad. Now listen to this, because it's a Pod Bros exclusive. I'll go get a ladder. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance.
Richard, I'm gonna make your night. I'll probably make your life.
Oh.
You are gonna feel so many strange things in new places that you never thought you could feel before.
I think we should make it clear to the audience that we're not in the same place. So it's not that show. I know everybody's waiting for that show, but it hasn't happened yet.
Shawn, why's your hand in my lap? I thought it was mine.
So I'm in the car with him, and I'm like, "Where's the gear? That's not the gear shift, and where are my pants?"
All right. So, have you ever heard of these beautiful, beautiful creatures called the Pygmy Chimpanzees? Formerly called the Pygmy Chimpanzees.
Pygmy chimpanzees. Okay, so I'm picturing I'm picturing a chimp, but I'm picturing a small chimp.
Yeah, they're kind of dwarf.
Okay, I've never heard of them, but I have the mental image.
I haven't either, and I think I'm going to show you why they never teach you about the Pygmy Chimpanzees in school.
Oh, before you do that, I'm a quick segue. I learned, what was it, last week? May have been last week or the week before. When they filmed the original Planet of the Apes, that they had, different apes in different costumes. Some people were dressed up as apes, and some people were dressed up as chimpanzees, and whatever. But when they were filming the movie and they broke for lunch, they said that at like the mess hall or the cafeteria or whatever, that the different types of chimps or the different types of apes would group together. So people that were dressed up as chimps would sit at a table with other chimps, and people that were dressed up as apes would sit at a table with other apes, and so on and so forth. I thought that's an interesting social experiment.
Well, it might not to go too deep into it, but I wonder if it's just because they kind of worked with those groups more often, maybe. Because so it's just like when you go to work, the new guys are always kind of hanging out together because they're the new guys together. They kind of join the company together, kind of thing. Maybe.
Well, it was all fine until they found a dead chimp, and they wrote on the wall in blood, "Orangutans forever."
Oh, okay, well that makes sense. So these Pygmy chimpanzees, they're now called bonobos, which is a beautiful name in itself.
Bonobos.
And I'm just finding this on Wikipedia. So this kind of came to me from the great Reddit. Reddit just gives you all kinds of amazingness.
I was gonna say, I was like, are you just like picking up random Wikipedia pages at this point?
Yeah. Well, I won't tell you what I was searching for when I found this. So I'm going to start with something a little bit, kind of open to show how bonobos kind of work together and just kind of give you their social behavior.
Yes.
Just to start out with
Teach
that.
me about the world of bonobos.
So bonobos, most studies indicate that the females are kind of have the higher social status in the bonobo society.
So the bonobo ladies are queen bonobo.
Yeah, no, mom's the one calling the shots here. Dad's just in the corner, but the mom's the one calling the shots.
It's kind of like my house.
Yeah, and mine. Oh, we're so much like bonobos.
I think is this just going to be a thing where we just say bonobos because it's a fun word.
It's a fun word
to say. I feel like the word of the week. The word of this week is bonobo. Work that into conversation.
People are going to look this up and be like, these fuckers made this word up. There's no such thing as a bonobo. So aggressive encounters between males and females are very rare, and males are tolerant of infants and juveniles. So they're kind of, like a lot of times whenever you think of males and infants, if it's not their own infant, they pretty much will kill it, is kind of what you hear in like a lot of nature, like lions and things like that.
That's kind of how I feel. Whoa. Did I just go to a dark place? I'm just saying that, like, in general, like, I like my kids, but I'm not a big fan of kids in general. Like, my kids are all right, but I can't stand other people's kids.
I've heard that, yeah. But bonobos are like, we'll tolerate all kinds of kids.
Oh.
And you'll kind of learn why. So kind of just keep diving into this. So males, similar to like we talked about before, they derive their status from the status of their mother. So if their mother's kind of high up in the group, then Bonobo Jr. is going to be pretty high up in the group as well.
Oh, like Stifler. Mom Bonobo.
Because mother and sons, their bond is pretty strong and it continues throughout life. So it's pretty good.
So all the kid bonobos are like they're like your mom bonobo was so hot. MILF.
So there are some social hierarchies, but the rank, it plays kind of a less prominent role than in other primate societies. So there's a little bit of, you're a little bit higher up on the social chain than I am, but not too much. But this is why you're going to learn, Richard, that the bonobos and male bonobos are kind of tolerant of infants and juveniles. Because of their promiscuous mating behavior of female bonobos, there is a great deal of paternal uncertainty.
Nice.
So males aren't sure which kids are theirs and which ones aren't, which is probably good because, when it's time to pay up your money for your child support and bananas, you don't have to worry about it. 'Cause like, that's not my kid.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like me.
Then the mom bonobo's like, he's got your hat on.
It's like, no, that's Greg Bonobo's hat. Are you sure it's not Ryan Bonobo's hat? It could be Steve's Bonobo's hat. I don't know.
We all look alike.
Are all your last names Bonobos? Well, yeah, it's a fun word to say.
It's like a sitcom.
And it's because of this lack of it's a sitcom. Bonobos and me.
The bonobo.
Whose kid is this one? I don't know. So because of this lack of uncertainty, pretty much all the parental care goes to the mothers.
So dad's out like banging every bonobo he can find, and then mom bonobo is raising the kids.
Pretty much, but mom bonobo gets in on the action too.
Ooh.
So we're still kind of setting the social behavior of all this right now. So the party size tend to be they varies in size. There's a community of approximately 100. They'll split into smaller groups during the day looking for food. And keep that in mind, food.
Okay.
And then when they come back together, they'll kind of sleep. And they sleep in nests that they construct in trees. So they get to hang out in tree houses all day.
So they hang out in tree houses, and like then the dad bonobo's like, I'm going to go look for food. But really he's like going off and like banging other bonobos.
Pretty much. So the reason, Richard, that I wanted to bring up the bonobos is because what caught my attention was what they described about their sexual social behavior. These bonobos like to fuck.
Yeah.
And they're not very particular on who they're going to bone.
Ooh.
Females will bone females, males will bone males. They don't care.
Okay, wait, before you do this, before you keep telling the story, I have to take off my pants.
Keep going.
Go on about the bonobos, please.
Oh, bonobo. Oh, bonobo. Hey, honey, we got a new pet. So, sexual activity plays a huge role in the bonobo society. It's used as, they say that the scientists perceive this as a greeting. So, a bonobo meets a new bonobo, and it's like, hey, how are you doing? Let's have sex.
That's awesome.
I mean, this is the scene that plays out. These two bonobos are walking across the road, and they both pick up a banana at the same time. It's like,
I didn't see you there.
You want to fuck for it? Richard, they think that the sexual behavior that they have is a means of forming social bonds.
Yeah, I mean that brings us all. Sex brings us all closer together, doesn't it?
It does.
I can't tell you how many times I'm walking down the grocery aisle, I'm reaching for a box of malto meal, and then somebody else is reaching for a box of malto meal, and I'm like, "How are you?" And then he's like, "My name's Greg," and I'm like, "You want to fuck for it?"
Next time you do that, you're like, "Hey, you want to form a social bond?"
Come on.
Is that code for sex?
We're
Yes.
building a society.
And this is a great thing too. It's a means they perceive this as a means of conflict resolution and post-conflict reconciliation.
So this is how they fight.
Yeah.
Like some animals, they're like, you take like deer, for example, when like a guy deer and another guy deer are like fighting, they're like, oh, let's ram our heads against each other, and then we'll tangle our antlers up and grrr, and I'll win. But these Bonobo Chimps, they're walking around and they're like, I don't like you. I don't like you either.
Oh God, I'm so horny.
Hey.
Are you horny? Not
Yeah.
yet. Oh yeah, I'm getting there.
I'm horny. I mean angry. Angry, horny. Horny, angry.
It starts at like a slow fist fight, turns into a slap fight, and then like slowly they start kissing. And
Yeah.
is that Greg and Ryan over there fighting again? Yeah, it's been a couple hours.
Everything that porn teaches us is true.
In Bonobo society, it is. That's where they get it. The porn people just went out and observed these bonobos.
I was just looking at Bonobo Chimps. So like that bonobo's delivering a pizza. Oh, the female bonobo doesn't have any money. What's gonna happen?
And so you think okay, whenever we think of sex and nature, it's kind of just doggy style type stuff.
Yeah, it's very utilitarian.
Yeah. But bonobos are the only non-human animal that has been observed engaging in the following sexual activities, Richard.
Whoa, the following. So there's a list.
Yeah, there isn't just a couple.
Oh.
Face-to-face genital sex. So these bonobos like to look each other in the eye while they bang.
Oh, okay.
You look at me while I'm banging you.
Make the chimp face me. Witness. Witness me.
They've been observed tongue kissing, or French kissing, if you will.
Wow.
Which I think we need to change this from French kissing to bonobo kissing, because it's a funner word and it's, just better.
Let's make out like the bonobos do. Go try that. Go try that on your wife. Let's see how that goes.
She just shakes her head like, podcast, babe. And this is the big one, Richard. This is one of the main things that sold me on the Bonobo Society.
Oh, please.
I think we can learn a lot from bonobos.
I already have.
These creatures, I don't know why I say creatures. These I don't know what's a good word to call them.
The bonobos.
These bonobos.
Or you just go with chimps if you don't feel like saying that word. But why would you not?
I know, it's a great word. So these bonobos, Richard, they participate and seem to enjoy oral sex.
What? Really?
Yeah. These bonobos are like, that hole's fun. That hole's fun. What about that hole? Which hole do you mean? The one on your face. Okay.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. I wonder the first one that learned that maybe they're eating a banana.
Like there's a female bonobo and she's eating a banana, and then guy bonobo comes in and she looks at the banana, she looks at him and looks at the banana. It's like, wait a minute.
You just see her kind of look at the camera and throw the banana over her shoulder.
And the guy bonobo's like, wait, what do you do? No, that's not supposed. Oh God.
Hey, everybody. Women rule this society. Women rule. And that's how the women bonobos took over the Bonobo Society. So bonobos, I mean, the one they're kind of like a commune. They're a hippie commune. You can almost compare it to that, because they don't.
Yeah, and like every now and again they have a love-in.
From what they've seen, these bonobos don't participate in a monogamous sexual relationship with individual partners.
So, but the bonobos are sleeping around. Not only the bonobos sleeping around, but they're not just sleeping around. They're sleeping around.
Yeah, and you know what? They do not discriminate in their sexual behavior by sex or age, with the exception they think, which is kind of it's good because it'd be a little icky, is they haven't really seen any sexual activity between mothers and sons, adult sons.
Okay.
So bonobos draw the line there.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not doing that. But Mom, you're over there with Uncle Tom.
Which,
That's different.
You want to talk about like who's really the civilized species here. I mean, certain parts of the South, we haven't really drawn that line.
Oh, yeah.
You can call it the bonobo blowjob. I'm still hung up on that.
Yeah. You want a bonobo to me tonight, babe? This
Bonobo the fuck out of you. Big old slobbery bonobo.
You try that tonight. I want you to record that.
Yeah. Can I stay at your place?
Well, when I get a little bit further down into what the bonobo males do, we'll see if you still want to come hang out. So a little bit earlier, I mentioned that, they're in like a big group of 100 or so. And during the day, they'll split up into smaller groups and go out to search for food.
So they start off in a group of 100. So you're talking about like 100 bonobo chimps, and they're all just like, what are you doing? Oh, we like hang out in tree houses and sleep with each other and go down on each other. Like really, like when you think about it, I mean, who's really the animal here? I'm gonna have to go with us. I mean, we're not really. It seems like these bonobos have figured it out.
Well, you talk about like the earlier when they get into kind of conflicts. It starts out as a conflict, but then they resolve it by it's like, hey, let's just blow each other. Let's call it good. They're in a bonobo conference meeting, and it's like, you know what? We're not selling enough bananas.
We need more bananas.
Steve, you're just not pulling your weight.
And I think it's Jim's fault.
Steve, you're just not pulling your.
And then Jim's like,
you're not pulling your weight. This is unprofessional, Tom, but I can't stop. But so, Richard, do you like going to the grocery store?
I love going to the grocery store.
Okay, for humor's sake, let's say you hate going to the grocery store.
Okay, so I hate going to the grocery. No, it's terrible.
Your wife is like, Richard, we gotta go get groceries. We're gonna go to the grocery. We gotta go find food.
I do dislike having to do like a gigantic shopping trip to the grocery store. Like we just had Thanksgiving, and like that involved like you got to go like get all the stuff, and you're dealing with people, and it can be a task.
So let's say, Rich, so you're a bonobo, and your wife's like, oh, we got to go to the grocery store.
Dude, I want nothing more than to be a bonobo right now.
You're gonna be super psyched as a bonobo when your wife's like, hey, or even if she just sends you by yourself, she's like, hey, Susie, Tom, Gert, Beth.
Gerst,
Steve, they're all gonna go get some groceries. Why don't you go and help with them? You're like, fucking right I am. Do you know why, Richard?
Why?
Because as they're going out to find food, when they find it, they get so excited, they get so sexually excited that they just bust out into an orgy. So they're walking up,
So let me see if I understand this. I'm painting the picture in my brain. So I'm imagining like bonobo mom's at home, and she's like, you, and you, go find food. And they're like, okay, we're going to go find food. So they're out, and they're walking along, and they're talking about what'd you do today? Be like, well, I saw a rock, and I threw it at somebody's head, and then Steve looked at me weird, and then we had sex. How about you?
We kind of started hitting each other, and one thing led to another.
I was swinging around in a tree, I took a nap, and then I got hit with this rock, and then I woke up and looked at somebody else and had sex.
Basically.
Did you just throw a rock at me? No. Well, let's have sex anyway. Sure.
So yeah, paint that picture. So, the head mom says, okay, you 7 people need to go out. You 7 bonobos need to go out and find food. So you've done that discussion. You're talking. All of a sudden, you walk on a big pile of bananas.
And you're like, holy shit, it's bananas. We got food. Guys, we got food. Yeah.
Food, yay, food. Oh God. Oh, what were we doing?
Who cares?
Who stepped on my foot? Are you trying to start a conflict, Ryan? No. Are you trying to start a conflict, Brad? Maybe.
God, so that whole pizza man porn scenario really would happen.
Basically, you just got to put some bananas on there.
Like a bonobo shows up with a pizza, and then all the other bonobos in the family are like, we found food.
So I love whenever they try to put like a scientific, they try to put kind of a scientific spin on it. So they feel like this communal sexual activity.
Oh, that's what we're calling it.
Yeah, communal sexual activity. It's an orgy.
Right.
Things are going in holes that aren't bananas.
AKA an orgy. You know that scene in Caligula? Yeah, that's communal sexual activity.
So with this communal sexual activity, it's presumably is to decrease tension and encourage peaceful feeding.
You know, I mean, that makes perfect sense. And I think that's something we should institute all the time.
Well, I love the fact that you think about this. They're going to get so excited they found food. They all start banging each other. And then they're like, man, I'm hungry. So they go eat and they get their bellies full. They're like, oh man, I'm so full. Hey, I'm horny again. Let's all bang again.
Yay!
So I love this lady. God bless her. I haven't looked at her picture or anything yet, but I'm sure she's a very beautiful woman. This quality was described by Dr. Susan Block in her book she titled The Bonobo Way. And she has I guess this is the chapter she discusses this. It's The Bonobo Way, the evolution of peace through pleasure.
Yeah.
So imagine this, Richard, if you will.
No, so yeah, okay, here's what I'm picturing. Okay? Like you and I are sitting around and then, you know, like either, you know, we're let's say I'm staying at your place. I'm staying at your place and then Tiffany comes in and she's like, "Hey, you know, since Richard's staying here, I'll make dinner. Why don't you go to the store and get some food?" And then we're like, "Okay, let's go to the store." So we go to the store and we're looking around and then Tiffany's like, "Oh, take my 3 friends. You know, they probably don't, you know, maybe they don't have shopping carts. So take my 3 friends, you know, Denise, Tara, and Elizabeth. Take them with you. And you guys will all get food and bring it back, and then I'll make something." And we're like, "All right, okay, that sounds nice." So we all go to the store, and we're walking down the aisles, and we find the perfect thing. We find, like, you know, there's Cocoa Pebbles. And so we're all looking at the Cocoa Pebbles, and it's like, "We found Cocoa Pebbles! Yay! We can have cereal! Yeah!" And then in the middle of aisle 4 happens the most depraved sexual behavior you can think of.
Well, there's so many scenes you can think of, because like right when you walk into the grocery store, everybody's going to find their food that they want. So there's just going to be these mini orgies going all over the place.
It's going to be like a Roman bathhouse.
Police show up and they're like, "Oh, this is indecent. This is, oh my God, look at those apples. Oh, my nipples are hard."
And then the guy next to him starts rubbing him.
So
this can't happen. Oh,
are you trying to start a conflict with me, sir?
Right? Yeah.
I'm a man of the law.
There's some guy walks around the corner. It's like, "Hey, those are my Cocoa Pebbles." And then in the pile, we're all like, "You want to fuck for it?" And he's like, "Sure."
That's how every conflict should be. If somebody comes up, he's like, "Well, you want to fuck for it?" No. Yeah.
You know, I guarantee that would probably resolve a lot of conflicts. Because, like, you know, let's say, because, like, if I'm driving, let's say I'm driving down the street and, you know, there's a guy behind, like, you know, let's say I accidentally cut somebody off, you know, cutting into it, you know, I change lanes and cut somebody off. And so then we get to the stoplight, he pulls up next to me. He's like, "Hey, you fucking cut me off." And I'm like, "You want to fuck for it?" And he's like, "Wait, what? No, do you want to fuck for it?"
There's an exit right up here. Do you want to take that? I know a really good grocery store. I mean, you could play this in so many things in society. The Bonobo Way as humans. Like, what if the bonobos were the you know, the ones that took over? Instead of humans, it was bonobos that run the world.
You know what? I think the bonobos don't really care about running the world, and I think you know. I mean, when you think about who's got the better deal, like you and I we go and work a 40-hour work week, and we come home, and you know, there's bills and there's dishes to do, and you know, this, that, and the other, and these guys are hanging out in tree houses, and the way they settle conflicts is have sex with each other.
Can you imagine bonobos going to a restaurant? So let's say it's well, they're not in monogamous relationships, but let's say Elizabeth and Brian are getting ready to celebrate their, you know, 3rd year after they've had sex for the first time. So they go out to a nice restaurant to have some dinner, and right when the waiter brings over their food, they're like, "Oh God, food. Waiter, on the table. We're all banging.
Check, please."
Did you charge me for 2 sodas? Did you charge me for 2 sodas? 2 sodas? Are you starting a conflict again, sir? Maybe.
This is why. See, this is why. If Bonobo society was like human society, then there would be gigantic car wrecks outside of every single drive-through.
Yeah.
Because you go into the drive-through and you'd be like, "Hey!" And then it's like not even as the car's pulling away from the second window, then there's just this massive tangled metal and people having sex on top of it.
The car stops like right at the door and somebody's walking. It's like, oh God, is that a cheeseburger in that car? Jumps through the window. I want in on some of this. Oh, but it gets better. It gets better.
Oh, there's more?
No, there's tons more.
Okay, see now here's the thing. Is like I feel like you've I mean, no pun intended, but I feel like you've kind of shot the wad here on the orgies from finding food. Like, how does this get more involved?
That's the big part, but we're going to kind of learn a little bit about maybe why these bonobos are a little sexually active. So, female bonobos, apparently they're clitorises. So we're getting very scientific now. We're getting our bro science on.
Yeah. Oh, everybody put on your lab coats, people.
LOB Army, there's no snickering now. We are in serious bro science mode right now.
Put on your white coats, put on your glasses, because it's time to get some science.
Hide the cheeseburgers, because there's not going to be any of that.
We're going to science the fuck out of these bonobos.
So female bonobos, apparently their clitorises are larger and more externalized than in most mammals.
So is this like Clerks 2?
Yeah, I guess.
Where she's like, I have a
large
clit. And then Randall's like, I can't have sex with a girl with a large clit because it's one step away from a guy with a small dick.
But bonobos don't care. So small clit, small dick, it's all the same to them. It'll all go in their mouth.
Yeah. See, I totally see. We got in the orgies. I totally forgot about the oral sex thing, and I'm still like kind of fascinated by this.
Well, it's like you wonder if they kind of try to keep that a secret. They're like, well, don't let any of the other animals see, because then they'll start doing it. This is our thing.
Yeah. There's a giraffe that like pokes his head through the trees eating leaves. And he's like, what are they doing?
Hey, bonobo! Oh my God! What's that in your mouth?
You could do that? Does that work? Guy Bonobo's like, hell yeah, it
works. So Trent the giraffe goes back to his little place. He's like, well, I've got a pretty long neck. Maybe I can.
Saw the craziest thing today, Gladys. Put your neck down here. Put your head down. Put your head here. Now watch. Now watch. Watch it. Watch. Oh God.
He's like, please, Gladys, please. She's like, what? Do you think I'm like one of those bonobos? God, no. You're sleeping on the couch, Trent.
Why don't you go hang out with your bonobo whore?
Well, I would, but they're dwarfs. They can't get up high enough. So the female bonobos, they're maybe half the size of like a human teenager. So that's the size of them. But their clitorises are 3 times bigger than the human equivalent. And these are actually visible when they walk. You can see these female clitorises wiggling back and forth.
Wow.
So it is almost like a small wiener.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know what? I mean, I'm at the risk of sounding slightly homoerotic. Like, I'm down with it. Because I mean, isn't that as a guy, isn't that kind of your hardest job? Like, hey, where is this thing? Oh,
found it.
There it is.
Oh God, it's right there in my face.
Wow.
I'm not even past your kneecaps yet.
So 3 times the size of a human. So that would make it roughly about what? Probably about the same size as your thumb.
I mean, maybe like the tip of your pinky, maybe.
Okay.
Something about like that. Like, yeah, probably like the tip of your pinky. Maybe a little bit longer. I'm not real sure, but.
Damn.
But so.
John's like, I'm not sure. I've never found it.
Yeah, I don't even think it actually exists.
It's a myth.
This is fiction. So
yeah, I heard the story. Zeus came down and gave a girl's clitoris.
Is that where it came from? Did Zeus give females clitorises or something like that? Like we all had penises at one time, and some female pissed off Zeus, so he cut it off, and it became a clit. I don't know. Do you want to fight about it, or you want to fuck for it? I don't care.
I don't believe you. Take your pants off.
I don't believe you. Take your pants off. Oh God, I'm using that in a meeting at some point.
And that's the story of Shawn's last day at work.
So Richard, when I told everybody to take their pants off, apparently they weren't down with bonobos.
That's referred to as harassment.
As the police were escorting me out of the building, I said, "What about the bonobos?"
The police were escorting me out of the building. And I'm like, you can't take me out of here. And they're like, we're forcing you out of here. And then I'm like, you want to fuck for it?
I feel like we have a conflict right now. Let's take our pants off.
So the holding cell was cold.
But Greg, that was there because he blew up some squirrels with a blowtorch, he was all about the Bonobo Society. Not much of a giver, or not much of a taker, more of a giver, but you know.
He's a pitcher. He doesn't catch.
So we're going to get a little sexy here, Richard. So these females, they have a little bit bigger clitorises.
Right.
So in scientific literature, literature.
Science.
So this is facts. This is nothing to laugh about. Bro science. Remember that. Bro science.
Hashtag bro science.
Hashtag bro science.
There you hashtagged it.
In this scientific literature, there is female behavior of bonobos pressing their genitals together.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. I almost finished.
Whoa. Oh, hold. Beep, beep. Let's back the truck up here. So you're so now you're telling me that not only are the female bonobos, not only are they cool with the guys sleeping around, they're down with oral, but also have very prominent bisexual tendencies.
Yes, sir. Richard, I imagine you right now is like, okay, I am looking up bonobo zoo assistants.
Yeah,
found
right?
it, honey. We're moving to Jacksonville.
I found my call.
I don't know why, but the male bonobos and the female bonobos, they just love Richard.
I'm now becoming a Buddhist in the hopes that I can be reincarnated as a bonobo chimp.
If when you get your choice of what you want to reincarnate, it's like, I want to be a bonobo.
Yep.
So the pressing of the genitals, they refer to it as genitogenital rubbing, GG rubbing, which genitogenital GG rubbing, which I didn't realize that there was this is what they consider the non-human explanation of that, but it's called tribadism, tribadism.
Okay.
Which is what human females will engage in. And I made the mistake, which I wouldn't call it a mistake, but I clicked on that link, which took me to a very interesting wiki article.
And I was at work, and then I was called to the office because the domain was blocked.
Like, listen, Shawn, you've been looking
they're
up...
like, you're looking up bestiality porn, isn't it? It's bestiality porn. That's what you're looking up.
No,
it's
like,
no,
science.
I'm not. I am doing research. This is science. And he's like, I don't believe you. And then you're like, you want to fuck for it?
I come home, tell Tiffany's like, I got fired today. She's like, what the fuck? How are we going to eat? How are we going to afford our home? Oh my God, Shawn, how are we going to do this? I'm like, well, I don't know. Want to fuck for it? I guess. I don't know. This seems kind of like conflict right now.
And she's like, fine, but we have to bring in Denise.
Oh, all right. Jeez. It's always Denise with you.
I gotta.
So I clicked on the link to see this picture, and apparently, and it was kind of one of those like pictures you would see in your human sex ed book in high school or whatever.
Okay.
And tribadism, which is similar to the genitogenital GG rubbing, where like it's basically missionary, where the females rub each other's vajigis on each other. So these bonobos, I'm sorry, get together and just rub their vaginas on each other.
I'm speechless. I mean,
It gets better. There's a lot more to this.
Oh my God.
I hope you didn't have anything for tonight's show because I've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh, please give me more. Okay, so
you think so we talked about that group of 100 bonobos that hang out, right?
So what prompts the female bonobos to, what prompts the GG rubbing? Is it like the conflict resolution and all that?
It doesn't really say, but apparently this happens a lot. Like multiple times during the day. So we talked about the group of 100, and they said that the female bonobos will, kind of be sexually active, with inside their bonobo community, right? So it's like, oh, I know Denise, I know Stephanie, I'll rub my large clit on hers, for fun,
Yeah. GG rub the fuck out of them.
Yeah. But these bonobos are like, well, you know what? I know there's another bonobo community about 3 miles that way. I'm going to go rub my vagina on them for an hour. So they will do their GG rubbing in their community and outside of it. They don't care. They'll rub their vaginas all over the place.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And this guy has probably the greatest job ever because he got to figure this out. Jonathan Balcombe stated that the female bonobos will rub their clitorises together rapidly for 10 to 20 seconds. And he said this behavior, in quotes, which may be repeated in rapid succession, is usually accompanied by grinding, shrieking, and clitoral engorgement. He also added, it gets better, Richard. It gets better. This is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, my God.
He added that it is estimated that they engage in this practice. How many times do you think they do this, Richard?
Like a day or just in general?
A day. Like on
day?
your best day as a human, Richard. I'm gonna make you feel ashamed to be a human. On your best day, how many times do you do a GG rubbing?
I mean, if I have like nothing to do that day, if I have nothing going on, maybe 3. That's a good day. That's a stellar day.
These females participate this in quotes about once every 2 hours on average.
Holy shit.
These bonobos are just banging the shit out of each other all day.
Well, no wonder they get so excited when they find food. They're like, all we do is fuck.
Well, it's like, it's been 2 hours since we've done anything. So, let's see. Let's keep going on with this. So, because bonobos occasionally have their relations face to face, evolutionary biologist Marilyn Zook has suggested that the position of the clitoris in bonobos and some other primates has evolved to maximize stimulation during sexual intercourse.
So they've done this so much that their bodies have actually accustomed to it?
Yeah. Evolution's like, listen, you guys like to bang so much, let's just make it easy on you.
That's insane.
Yeah. Let's see, kind of some other stuff on here for the females.
Does the bonobos, how often do they? Because I would think that they'd be pregnant all the time.
Yeah,
when you consider all the sex they're having.
Yeah, they talk a little bit about the reproduction, which is that we're kind of going to end on that. There's a little bit of information there. It's not as sexy, but I mean we're in bro science mode right now, so this is all seriousness.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it on the females, the female to female relationship. Like it's kind of hot, It's like these females like to have a good time.
Yeah. So
now we're gonna go. Bromance science is going. Do you have anything else you'd like to discuss? I guess first.
At the moment, no. I feel I'm getting this really odd look from my wife. She just came through the kitchen. I think she just realized what the hell I'm talking about. Hey, have you heard about these Bonobo Chimps?
She's like, babe, you're being loud. I got shit to do. I'm fucking tired. You're like, well, babe, you want to fuck for it?
Hey, you want to fuck for it?
I found food. Babe, why are you throwing my clothes outside?
I don't want to sleep on the couch.
So the females, like I said, it's kind of sexy. It seems like they're having a good time. So let's talk about the males and the Benny Hill sketch that is about to unfold.
Oh, no.
Everything's funner with male to male sexual relations.
Especially when you said the word Benny Hill, because I'm picturing that music.
Well, wait when I start talking about one of the legs or one of the ways they start getting it on.
Oh, okay. So this is male to male, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, this is male to male interaction.
Like I'm still I'm still on the GG rubbing.
Maybe I should have
There's
let off.
so much information. I feel like you should make this almost a two-parter because I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can actually absorb all of this information in one sitting.
Well, I've already told Tiffany I'm going back to school to get my biology degree, and this is what I'm writing my dissertation on.
Going to Africa and studying the bonobo chimps.
I'm gonna go in to present my dissertation in front of all of these, doctors and high esteemed characters, and I walk in with my pants off. This is unacceptable. You need to wear pants. Oh, do I? Yeah. You want to fuck for it? And that's how I became a doctor. Okay, so bonobo males. So bonobo males occasionally engage in various forms of male-to-male genital behavior. This is similar to the non-human analogy of frotting, which I did not click that image. Would you like me to click that? Would you like me to click this, Richard?
Fool me once!
Oh, God. Frotting is, it's what you expect. So, goddamn, why'd I click this? So...
Yeah, I just want you to know that you're gonna have to explain that browser history to somebody.
So the image that came up, it's another kind of what you would find inside of a sex ed book, and it's this blonde skinny dude with this muscular bearded man, naked, of course, rubbing
one's in a gorilla suit,
rubbing their genitalia on each other. So that's what that was. So that's what the males sometimes do. They participate in what we consider in the non-human world frotting.
So it's like dry humping.
Kind of, yeah. You're just rubbing your junk on each other.
Yeah.
But this is the Benny Hill piece right here. So that's the one form, frotting. So in another form, these two bonobo males will hang from a tree limb facing each other. Naked, erect. Richard, what do you think they do with their penises?
Okay, so first of all, I just want to point out, naked. Do they why? What was the point in saying naked? Do they wear clothes?
I don't know. I just assumed. Isn't that how nature works? Put some pants on, dog.
Like Donald Duck, man, never wore pants. They learned it from the bonobos.
So these bonobos are hanging erect penises. And what do you think they do with those, Richard? You ruined my setup.
Okay, so they're hanging out. Are they they're looking at each other in the eye.
They're face to face. They are eyes linked. They are looking straight at each other.
I'm please tell me. No, don't tell me. Okay, tell me.
I think I can sum this with one word. So these two bonobos are hanging from a tree. You just hear one say, "On guard!"
Oh, they sword fight.
Yeah, these bonobos participate in penis fencing. It's the new Olympic sport.
Oh, please tell me that's on the Wikipedia page.
It is. There's a link. And it is.
Oh, God.
I have no clue. I don't know. They're showing some weird thing, penis fencing.
I'm just loving the thought of someone like an older man in his 50s, gray hair, glasses, a white lab coat, sitting in front of his computer, typing the word penis fencing.
What about the dude that's out there he's studying these bonobos and he's like, I've never. It's like, quiet, Gladys, quiet. I've been out here for 10 years. And I have never seen a bonobo have a penis fencing, penis fencing. I think those two are about to do it. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. They're doing it. Oh, get the camera. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And I'm spent. I used to think that I had a high sex drive.
You do not have a bonobo sex drive.
Apparently not. These guys are crazy. This is insane.
So you're talking about the scientists. So I just imagine
Wearing a chimp suit.
This is your son or your kid. He's in high school, and they're in that science class. The teacher's like, okay, you need to pick an animal and do a presentation on it. And the kid's like, I want to do chimpanzees. Teacher's like, no, you have to be more specific. Pick a specific type of chimpanzee.
I guess I'll go with the bonobos. And
That's
the
good. Do
teacher's
bonobos.
like, okay, do that. That sounds fine. And then he comes in for his PowerPoint. He plugs it in. The bonobo chimps are very interesting creatures. They engage in.
He's like, so these gauge in what us humans call frotting. And the teacher's like, oh, interesting. What is frotting? Click next on the slide. It's a picture of two dudes with their penises touching. Go to the principal's office. Is there food there? Because I got an interesting story about bonobos and food.
Wouldn't be a party without a spit roast.
So these males, they fraught, they penis fence, and
they go get food and they have orgies. They're having orgies. There's two male bonobos with a female bonobo because they're into oral, so they do the spit roast.
What's this? I don't know.
You know a spit roast? Another term would be the poke and choke.
Okay, I still don't know what that is.
God damn it. You go ahead and look. Go ahead and Google that, see what comes up.
I will wait to do that later.
It's the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what an Eiffel Tower is. It's a place in France.
Right. Very good. Let's move on.
It's what used to be called French kissing, but now it's called bonobo kissing.
Exactly. Don't overthink it. Let's just move on.
So we talked a little bit earlier about how these bonobos, sometimes they get in conflict. These two males are just pissed off at each other and they start fighting, and soon that turns into, some coitus.
That's how they fight.
With their penises.
Oh, see, so you could. Oh my God, no, wait, think about it. Okay, say bonobos had like a more developed society to where they started like making movies. So like their action movies, they'd be like, they'd have sword fighting scenes. Oh my God, it'd be like so in Star Wars, it would be like if Luke and Vader just whipped out their dicks and started fighting each other with it.
That would give the end scene so much more credence. Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, because then he'd have a real reason to scream no. He's like, I touched it.
But so in that scene after Vader and Luke, Luke Bonobo and Darth Bonobo. Oh my God, that's such a great name for a Star Wars Darth
Bonobo.
I'm writing J.J. Abrams right now.
Kylo Bonobo.
The darkest force in all the universe.
And then Han Solo's like, it's true. All of it.
The frauding thing? Yeah.
The frauding.
Every 2 hours.
The orgies.
It's kind of hot when you think about it. The dark side's really kind of cool. So these bonobos, after they get done penis fencing, and maybe somebody hit somebody too hard with their penis, so they get upset with each other. Something else they'll do to kind of reconciliation their relationship is they'll interact in what they like to call rump rubbing.
Okay.
Rump rubbing, Richard. I feel like we're kind of the what's the site that has all the terms and they have like the actual meanings for it.
Like the Urban Dictionary?
Yeah, this is like our Urban Dictionary episode for bonobos.
This is the Urban Bonobo Dictionary.
So these bonobos, when they're upset with each other, what they'll do is they'll put themselves back to back and start rubbing their rumps and their scrotum sacks together, which was observed by Takayosho Kano.
Wow.
What are those two bonobos doing? I call it rump rubbing.
Yeah. Let's use that. I like that.
Oh man. So this actually gets, I think, a little bit more scientific. So more often than the males, female bonobos will engage in mutual genital behavior. And that's because they kind of think that's more of a social bond. So kind of like when the girls go to the bathroom together, the females like to kind of get that sexual stuff going to kind of get them more connected with each other.
So yeah, I wonder if they watch, like the male bonobo comes in and there's there's Janet and Dixie and they're engaged in the GG rubbing and then the male bonobo's like, yeah.
That is what they describe as why the females kind of dominate most of the males. Because these females are like, we don't need the males. Fuck that. We can get this shit going ourselves. So they kind of group together. So the
females are like, I mean, you're cool and everything, and like I'm down for, whatever. I mean, we go find food and it's all fine, but like I don't need it. I've got Tammy over here.
Have you seen the size of her clit? It's huge. So
I mean, it's like a small you.
What? I'm sorry, it's actually bigger than yours. Oh, I'm gonna go penis fight with Greg. You mean knife fight? Shut up.
Oh, low blow, Janet.
Damn it, Janet. So the females are smaller than the males, kind of like in most mammals. But since the females are so strongly tied together because of their sexual bonding, they will, those group of females will dominate males. So if a male tries to take over the community, bitches are like, nope, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, all right, can I watch?
Yeah.
You just do it. Let me just stand here and jerk off.
They don't really mention that. What if that's the only thing in this society is like, yeah, you can't masturbate. Do anything you want, but you cannot masturbate.
I mean, yeah, but honestly, like, if you were like, why would you need to?
Once every 2 hours is not enough.
Why would you need to? Like, you're having food. You're having food orgies. You're watching some GG rubbing. You're penis fighting with your neighbor.
Instead of Sunday football,
your bonobo wife is sleeping around with males and females
while you're sleeping around with males and females.
Yeah.
So you kind of asked a little bit earlier, like, well, shouldn't these bonobos be pregnant all the time? And I guess the way it sounds is their gestation period is about 240 days, so just short of a year.
Okay.
And it says that right out of the gate, once they have that baby and they're done and they're taking care of their kid, but they pop right back in and are banging the crap out of everybody again.
That's crazy.
And I'm not sure if they say that the female's probably not sterile at that point, so she could still get pregnant, but on average they only get pregnant every like 4.6 years because it takes about 4 years for the child to get to adulthood. So they're not getting knocked up all the time.
Wow. But that's what I'm saying. You would think they would, considering like once every 2 hours.
Well, I don't know if maybe it's, but Richard, like we said earlier, they participate in oral sex, so maybe that's what they do most often.
Dude, I'm resigning life and becoming a champ.
Like you said, you're going to go see Buddha and be like, listen, I want to get reincarnated as a bonobo.
I need to be reincarnated.
That's what, what's the highest Buddha? What's that called? You
would ask me that. I have no idea. I knew like probably 3 years ago. I couldn't tell you now. So when you've achieved like your perfect state, you're a bonobo chimp.
Oh, this is gonna bug me. I need to know this because it's what the dude from Caddyshack talks about when he's golfing.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Whatever the hell. So you get to that status, and he's like, so you go see that dude, the highest, high up. You're like, Mr. Whatever your name is, I want to be the best Buddha I can, so I can be reincarnated as a bonobo.
So the Dalai Lama is one.
Yes.
The Dalai Lama is one step away from a bonobo chimp.
That's what he fingers you over. He's like whispers in your ear. He's like, that's why I'm the Dalai Lama. Bonobo bitches.
I've learned so much. So much.
I have dropped so much knowledge on you. And there's no surprising that this is a very peaceful ape. They're very peaceful since, they're more of a make love, not war type of.
They are very much a make love, not war. They're hanging out in communes and banging every bonobo that moves.
I mean, when everything results in excitement, I mean, you find food, it's like, all right, let's fuck. You get up in the morning and it's been 2 hours. Like, oh, let's bang.
Yeah. Steve stole your banana. Oh, let's fuck.
Well, I'm gonna go fight him. And then
Jenny stole your banana. Oh, let's fuck. I think we could all benefit from having a little bonobo behavior.
Well, I love so in an old episode we talked about Jane Goodall when she went and saw basically that chimp civil war. This is the complete opposite of this. Like, she should have went and watched these guys, and she would have been a lot happier.
That's probably I think that's the answer to world peace. You take one of these bonobo chimps and you integrate them with the Jets and the Sharks, chimps that are always fighting with each other. And then, like these two chimps are about to battle, and then the bonobo steps in like, guys, there is a much, much easier way and much more fun way to settle this.
Everybody take your pants off.
Let's go.
I just imagine this would be a great ABC Family movie. So, somehow, let's say this is, 100 years in the future. So, the world is on the brink of World War III, and somehow these bonobos have just started to gain speech, and they start integrated into human society.
Like, listen.
And right before the president hits that button, is going to send those nukes, the bonobo walks in and is like, wait! Let's just have sex.
Hey, guys, listen. Let's just take our pants off.
The foreign, person's there who's wanting to start this fight and is like, no, this is nuclear holocaust. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, and then the female bonobo's like, listen, have you ever heard of oral?
Yeah, but there's no girls here. Doesn't matter. So you're saying we just hang from this tree and fight with our penises? Yes. It's exhilarating. Well, what do we do after? You rump rub.
That'd be like the Terminator movie at the end. Like, it's just sword fights and GG rubbing. Credits.
So that is probably my new favorite animal.
Yeah, that should be everybody's new favorite animal.
That is the bonobo or the Pygmy Chimpanzee.
So much knowledge has been honestly, I can't even think of how to wrap this up. We've learned so much, and yet I feel like we know so little.
We just found that we need another brocation, and we need to study these animals.
And you know what? Really, when you think about it, like we're simple creatures, and I think these bonobos have figured it out.
Agreed. So I guess I can toss it up to you now. So Richard, I'd like to hear your closing thoughts on this bonobo adventure we just took.
Well, I think that we all get mired in life. And, there's bills and there's, stuff to, you got a job. And I think that we should all take a lesson for the bonobos and say, you know what? We could even, let's just take the pleasure in the simple task of finding food. Let's celebrate. Let's all take a minute and marvel at not only the sex drive, but let's marvel at the ability to resolve conflict, to find food, to liberate your mind. Let's all try and take a page from the Bonobo playbook. And I think that I think that if I go next time I go to the grocery store, and I'm reaching for a box of Fruity Pebbles, and the guy next to me also wants a box of Fruity Pebbles, we don't need to fight about it.
Just need to do some frauding.
We just need, we'll fraud it out and we'll work it out.
That's awesome. All right, well, I will do a little bonobo housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe and leave a review on iTunes and Stitcher.
And don't forget to check us out on the Pod Bros Network, where we don't fight. Like, I don't.
We're at Pod Bros, we never fight. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
John's gonna be like, "Yeah, you guys are done.
Yeah,
There's no frauding allowed here.
No frauding." I usually don't make rules, but I'm making a rule. Rule number 1: no frauding.
Why does Richard and John have their dicks in their hands?
Yeah. Be like, John, it's okay. Let's go to the grocery store and we'll work it out.
He's like, no, there is no frauding.
And this is why no one will ever be invited to our barbecue. No one will ever attend our barbecues again.
You try to fraud. Well, you try to have a frauding tournament one time, and everything goes out the window. But on a brighter note, if you need some headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com, use the promo code LOBARMY, and you'll get 33% off.
Yeah, because I'm literally speechless at this point.
I also like to throw out, if you are in the need for a new podcast app, we are now on the Pocket Cast app. I just downloaded it. It is really, really awesome. I have it for my iOS, but it's available for Android and Windows Phone. And I think they even have a web app too. Really, really good app.
Yay!
All right. Well, is that all? Is there anything else before we close her out?
No, let's just keep spreading the lesson of love that's given to us by the bonobos.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver.
Eat the beaver like the bonobos do.
Oh my God, Richard. Guess what?
What?
I just found some food.
I found a cheeseburger.
Oh God.
Orgy in my house.
Oh shit.